Another part which is very interesting and quite opposite to this side is obstinacy. Hello friends, today we are going to talk on the materia medica. The remedy is silica, silicea. We will try to understand the personality or mind of silica from Phatak's Materia Medica. It is very interesting. Phatak's Materia Medica contains some selected symptoms in mind section, and we should read actually multiple books to study Materia Medica actually, but I have selected Phatak's Materia Medica as a basis because it contains the important symptoms from other Materia Medica, or I would not say that it is sufficient, but I have selected it to make you explain different aspect of remedy, not from only Phatak Materia Medica, but from my knowledge from other books as well as from my experience of my clinic. But we will try to have some basis to discuss the different issues or different personality aspects of silica. So we will try to understand the different aspects of personality of silica or its mind from the symptoms given in Phatak. So I hope you understand this approach, and I have grouped the symptoms. So we will take symptoms from Phatak's Materia Medica mind section, and we will not take as a sequence, but I have grouped them. So have a book in your hand while watching this video. So I think it would be more useful to you understanding Materia Medica as well as the mind of silica. And please note that this is not the complete study, but I have tried to explain my understanding of silicea patient in a brief, so you may get some more knowledge or support or complementary knowledge to your understanding of silica, or you may get help to understand Materia Medica in a better way at your stage of learning. So let's start. Silica. As we start, there is a soft side of silica, as we all know, or we have discussed, or sometimes we have observed, or we have learned that silica are softer personalities. So the symptoms given in Phatak's Materia Medica are yielding, faint-hearted, sensitive weeping mood, cries when kindly spoken to, and sullen. So this speaks, apart from sullen, the yielding and faint-hearted as well as sensitive and weeping mood, this speaks, these are the simple symptoms Phatak has picked up from the other Materia Medica or maybe from source book, which are most important. So we can understand the softer side of silica, and it is known that silica people are very simple and soft in behavior, in talking also. So it is also said that they cannot say no when forced to do something also. So this is this part, or the what we should understand by yielding, that they cannot say no. This is a part of personality of silica people. They are soft. This is the softer side of silica. This is one aspect of silica. They are mostly calm and pacific in a way. They are very calm and sort of silent personalities. Another part which is very interesting and quite opposite to this side is obstinacy part. So the symptoms mentioned in Phatak's Materia Medica is, you can look into your book, that obstinate, stubborn, headstrong children, fixed ideas, thinks only of pins, fears them, searches them and counts them. So these symptoms, if we understand these symptoms in a broader context or with a background of knowledge of other Materia Medica, it gives us idea about the obstinacy part, or we can say the determination part of silica personality. On one hand, they are yielding to the outer impressions. On the other hand, they have this trait in their personality of obstinacy, because silica is basically a flint, which is actually very hard in its own way. So they have this obstinate or determination part in their personality. They are very firm internally. So this fixed idea, as a symptoms, we can say fixed idea about pins. But what it suggests, when we understand from different Materia Medica or different background, it suggests that internally silica people are very strong or firm in their belief or in their attitude also. So they have this obstinate or determined part within themselves, but outer they may be very yielding and soft. So they contains both this aspect. It is very interesting. Pulsatilla is yielding through and through, internally and externally both, but Silica are internally obstinate, as well as in behavior they seems to be yielding and not obstinate. So this is one part. Another is anxiety part. Silica is one of the most important remedy for anxiety among others. So we may not miss Silica when there is a anxiety. It is the chief remedy when we talk about anxiety. Symptoms given in this book is complaints from anticipation. This is the causation. Mostly Silica do suffer with the anticipatory anxieties. Fidgety, loss of self-confidence, dreads failure but unfounded, and starts from slight noise. This group of symptoms, I would repeat, actually they are scattered in the because I am not reading from sequence, but you can look into the book, and I have grouped for anxiety complaints from anticipation. So the anticipatory anxiety or anticipation might be causing some problem for Silica patient. They are too anxious. Another is starts from slight noise as well as fidgety. Fidgety is the restless movement of limbs, and so the restless type of anxiety they get. And I would talk in about situation later on. And another is loss of self-confidence, dreads failure but unfounded. It is very interestingly given. There is a loss of self-confidence. Silica may have a lack of self-confidence, but in background they are very capable people about knowledge, their skills, but they have some anxiety. So they basically dreads failure. You can connect the theme of image consciousness, which I have mentioned, which may be mentioned in some other books also, but the theme of image consciousness can be connected here with the theme with this symptoms, dreads failure, when they have to perform on stage, or when they have to meet new people, or when they have to undertake new task. So they dreads failure in connection with image consciousness, because they are giving too much importance of their image, and they are quite image conscious about what other will think about him or her if they fail. But it is interestingly given, dreads failure but unfounded. What this mean? Unfounded means because they are, if they perform, they are successful. So the failure is unfounded, but they fears the failure. Unfounded means they are not, they do not lack capability. So their fear is due to their inner anxiety, their too much importance about their own images. So they have this anxiety, and then there is a lack of confidence. But this lack of confidence is not coming from their own weaknesses, but this other issues, because they are very hardworking people. So the dreads of failure but unfounded. This is my understanding of these symptoms. So these symptoms may apply different understanding also. So I am sharing my own understanding. And starts from noise, slight noise. This speaks of higher sensitivity, and in relation with anxiety also. So they you may get symptoms starting from sudden noise or slight noise. So their sleep might be very light in this respect. So this speaks of anxiety. I would repeat: complaints from anticipation, fidgety, and loss of self-confidence, dreads failure, and start from slight noise. These are the symptoms speaking of the anxiety part of Silica. So in general, we may understand Silica have much issues regarding anxiety, especially anticipatory anxiety. What is the anticipation or anticipatory anxiety? It is anxiety related to any future event, or what would happen if this go in this way. This type of anxiety are mostly considered as anticipatory anxiety, and that is present in Silica also, and that is also causing some problem in Silica patient also. So this is a important causation also. Another part is intellectual aspect. The symptom given here is mental acuteness with physical weakness and torpidity. So it is almost similar to lycopodium, or we may say arsenic, the physically weak and intellectually keen. So in Silica also, mental acuteness. Intellectually, Silica people are quite intellectual and intelligent. They are refined and diligent in their work. They are also hardworking. This is one aspect of intellect, or we can say their brain aspect of their personality. Connected with this intellectual aspect, or their intellectual capacity aspect is about the exhaustion, and we can also connect this theme. One is intellectually keen, mental acuteness, and they are quite sharp intellectually. On the other hand, there is a stage, or we may understand not as a part of personality, but this can be understood as a part of phase in Silica people's personality or in their life, is a exhaustion. There are some symptoms giving indication about exhaustion. See, hopeless from Materia Medica, hopeless, sad, disgust of life, wishes to drown herself, brain fag, and cannot express himself correctly, and indifference to religion. These are important symptoms, and they can be understood separately also. That is also one way which we should not neglect, but I am grouping them to suggest there is a phase of exhaustion. If you look into the symptoms, they suggest some exhaustion type of thing. In a way, with so much importance to image consciousness and this type of sincerity Silica may have, in some, not in every patient, but in some patient, when circumstance, if the circumstance does not go in favor of them, then they may have hard time. They may have this phase of exhaustion because they are overdoing work, or they are stretching themselves because they are too image conscious. They are stretching themselves a lot. They are hard working people. They are too sincere and diligent, so they may not compromise with the hard work. So this phase you may find in Silica, that of exhaustion, where these symptoms suggest the brain fag, or hopeless, or cannot express himself correctly. It is not necessary that this exhaustion stage comes only from this way, but we need to understand from the different themes. It may come from this way. Another is a morality aspect. Silica people are quite conscientious, and they may have guilt. The symptom is compunctions of conscience about trifles. So they are diligent people, and they are moral people and conscientious people. So they have this type of moral fastidiousness about trifles. And when there is a conscience, there are chances of guilt also. The compunctions means sort of guilt about conscientious about trifles. So they suggest moral part of Silica also. So in this way, we may understand the symptoms in these groups. One is a softer side. Opposite to it, there is an obstinate or determination side. The main emotionally, if we see which emotions is particularly expressed or affected in Silica's sphere, is anxiety part. Because in other remedy, we may get other emotions prominently, but prominently Silica may represent the anxiety part mostly. They may express anger also at times, but we are discussing the main issues here. So usually Silica may not express anger in a usual condition, in a normal state, but you may get some anger outburst in Silica patients sometimes. So it is not abnormal, or it does not contraindicate Silica. And another is this intellectual and morality aspect, with some understanding of exhaustive stage Silica may go into. So in a way, we may understand the Silica personality as a image conscious. They are giving too much importance to their image. They may be built by others, or they may have accepted from others for themselves. Another is hardworking people, intellectually refined and diligent in their work or in their approach to work, and anxious personalities. So I think this would help you to understand the Silica personality in a better way, or to study your Materia Medica or mind part of Materia Medica. But again, I would say this is not the complete study. This is a simple my understanding of Silicea personality, and we have taken Phatak's Materia Medica as a basis to understand Silica. So you may revise again when you refer Phatak's Materia Medica. So this whole picture would come into mind, and it will help you to revise or to visualize the Silica personality. So I hope this would be useful to your study. So I would be glad to know how you find this approach to study Materia Medica, and would you like me to continue in this way or not?